Hello, this is Jason Delgado. Welcome once again to the ReUp. Today we're going to be talking about rejection, how we're dealing with it and how we cope with it and how we're better from it. It's the ReUp though, so it's positive. Welcome! So yes, today we will be discussing something apropos to today's events. First off, let me welcome you to the beautiful Orsini Studios in lovely, shaky Los Angeles, California. My name is Jason Delgado. Welcome to the ReUp, the show where I talk about being a stand-up comedian, trying to make it out there in the world as a working class office guy, and having a dream to be more, to be a comedy star, and how that journey is transcending towards, living the dream. So welcome. We're going to get into a topic that I think is appropriate to that sort of dream. A thing that I think you do have to deal with along the road towards achieving those goals. As the motorcycle rides by. We're going to talk rejection. First off, I wanted to tell you I am very grateful to be safe here in beautiful, shaky Los Angeles, California. The earthquake was very scary. We definitely felt it. It was definitely scary. It definitely lasted a while. But yeah, and the next day I even packed a bag and put it next to the bed in case something happened in the middle of the night. I can get up, and make my way to the street, survive. Had my pajamas and extra socks. It was very, it was very good. I was looking for a flashlight the whole time. Then I realized, dude, you have a cell phone. But yeah, so it was good. It was good to kind of have a bag prepared. Now I have one prepared in the event. So, it's good in case of emergency, but we're hoping not having to use it at all. And so far, so good. Knock on wood that it maintains that steadiness in the earth. Because, it was very scary. But yeah, then also this week I had a show at Flappers in Burbank. Shout out to Flappers for having a wonderful, wonderful event. It was a sold-out standing room only show. Your boy did very good. I will have a video of that 5-minute performance as soon as it is sent to me. So that was fun. Met comedians, talked to comedians, and it was always good to see, comedians beforehand, how they're preparing them when they go up, how it is, and techniques and, psyching yourself up and all that stuff. So it was fun. It's always fun to kind of be in a real show. It's supposed to like an open mic where it's like a show at a comedy club, where people paid and have drinks and the audience is very, into it. And that was a very, very good experience. So shout out to Flappers in Burbank for hooking that up. And then on to today. Yes, today's events involve dealing with rejection. I will put up a little video of the experience that I had today. Hopefully it plays. But yes, I was at the NBC. Block is hot, block is hot, block is hot. Block is hot, block is hot for the shout out of Network TV. Block is hot, NBC, block is hot. So I went to the auditions for the NBC stand-up comedy show, and it was an adventure. I woke up early this morning, had to drive to Oxnard, California, beautiful Oxnard, California, where I stood in line for several hours with 100 and so people trying to get a spot on an NBC stand-up TV show. So I get there. Out of the 107 people they chose, I got 89. Very grateful. Saw my buddy John Taylor. Shout out to John Taylor, who got a call back because he's a crusher. Shout out to John Taylor, my friend from the Lexington. He stood overnight. Went to 24-hour fitness, took a shower, came back the next day, was in the first group of 25, got called back. My dude, let's go. So shout out to him, well deserved. And they had groups of 25, and I was in the final group of 25. And I met some great comedians and had some great conversations about life and about dealing with, having that full-time job and trying to be a comedian and trying to be positive and needing to come up with material, but, having a life and having worries and concerns, but still having to find humor and try to express that humor as part of what you do. It was very, very insightful to see how comedians, interact and deal and sort of, how we do what we do. Everybody's unique and cool. And we got 1 minute to perform. So we all get piled into the room. They give us 1 minute each to do our material. And your boy did not get picked. As the truck drives by in sorrow. But yeah, you know, it was one of those things where I remembered the words, did the bit. Not sure, you know, you do your best. But the way of taking the rejection, I think the way I took it was, the tough part for me was I had a very strong vision. I imagined myself getting a slot. I imagined myself getting picked and being called back. And I imagined myself getting called on the NBC show and being up there and winning. And, you know, I envisioned it in my head as crystal clear as possible. You know, and I focused on it and I practiced that minute and honed that minute. I do this. And I was like, no, I feel good about this. I feel good about this. I envision it. I imagine it. I picture it. I have it crystal clear. You're going to get it. You're going to go up there. You're going to crush. You're going to win. And none of that happened. I did go up. I did think I did very well. I got laughs. But yeah, didn't get the call back. And it was cool. It was like Rudy. They like posted names up on a door. And everybody, yeah, you know, it was really cool. But the way I kind of look at the rejection, to me, was I really, really had such a good experience, you know, with the comedians, being at the club, kind of having somebody from NBC, you know, Jimmy Fallon's booker was there, an NBC comedy talent booker was there, so they got to see me regardless of picking me, to be seen and to do good, I thought. And also, it's one of those where, like, and also a friend getting picked, it's amazing. I mean, I'm so grateful for that. That guy deserves it. He's a crusher, John Taylor. But, like, and that, like, man, like, I'm in the same clubs that this guy's at, and this guy got picked by NBC. Like, that's very encouraging to me. And also, I was up really, really early, so I was pretty exhausted by the time it was over and they were ready to put up the names. But I gotta tell you, like, I really took the rejection kind of like you did the best you could. I think if I would have gone up there and been like, I would have hated myself. I don't know. I would have had to hug children for a while. This podcast might not be happening. But no, I really do feel like I did a good job. You know, I did my jokes. I feel like, you know, maybe the people who won were dressed kind of cool. So maybe I could have dressed cooler. But I don't, you know, I don't hold on to it. I really don't. You know, I think in the training of the mind and realizing, you know, you have those things like, you know, you could have done this, you could have done that. And I kind of like did go through that. But only briefly. And then I was like, you know. I've really learned that so much of it is a war of attrition. You know, perseverance. And I think so much of that perseverance comes from, you know, not being attached to an outcome. You know, the parts of the vision that I had where it's like you get there in time, you get seen, you do your minute, it's a tight minute, you're not nervous, you know, you perform to your best ability, you don't give up. You know, all those things all went through. That part of the vision completely went through. The part that didn't go through, it's just not under my control. You know what I mean? Like, they might have liked, you know, this guy better than me, you know, maybe for whatever reason, this girl better than me, you know, like, that part I can't control, and I can only do the best I can do. And I really feel like I think the part that initially stung was, I was like, man, I did all that visioning, all that imagining and visioning, and here I am, walking home, you know, and I do feel like that's honest, just because it's disappointment. I don't think you can get around disappointment. It's an honest thing. But at the same time, I did the parts that I could control, and that really, I don't know, it puts me at peace. Of course I want the TV show, but like, I'm at peace with not being part of the show this time, just because, hey, you know, like, I did do my best and I had the vision. Next time, perhaps a nicer jacket, maybe a leather jacket would have got me. If I would have worn a leather, I'd be in. But no, I feel good. I'm grateful. I'm super grateful. It was a great experience. Truly, truly great experience. And I'm grateful to have gone through it. And I think, you know, you feel rejection, you feel disappointment, that's for sure. But I think I'm proud that I went through all the way with the parts that I went through. And so I can kind of take solace in that part of the journey or the experience. And I think anytime, like, dealing with rejection, you know what I mean? Like, I've gotten where I didn't get picked for things, and I didn't, win certain contests or get certain things that I wanted as far as comedy goes. And I think before what it was, I think to a degree it's like, sometimes you're just not good enough. Like, like there are people who are better than you, and I think that that's totally valid, and you should accept that. But I think other times, to have that opinion of yourself with no learning, no contrast, it's like, you suck, you're not good enough, good night. I think that's a bad place to be, and I used to do that. Where I'd be like, you're just not good enough, so just never mind. And that, I just don't believe in that anymore. I don't subscribe to that, because I feel like everything is a learning experience. There's something to be derived from every experience, good or bad. And I think rejection has a great place because it's something that, it's an emotion you feel, so it like brings up those thoughts that immediately flood your head. So it's a good exercise to balance the mind and not be, overwhelmed by it. But it's also, man, for me, taking a loss, my brain starts to think faster and clearer, because it's like, oh man, you got to assess, because I don't like to feel this way. I want to win. And I think when you can assess data and see like, oh, this, you could do this and you could do this. I think that stuff comes clear when you have an expectation for something and that expectation is not met, and then you have to do something. And the next step, I think before for me used to be like, just like, woe is me. And now I feel, I got to get a leather jacket. No, I do. I feel like there are things that I can learn from that experience and gather and go like, oh man, like, things to grow from. And I feel like that's why it was a good experience. And then again, meeting those comedians and having those deep conversations about, dealing with the comedy life, because that's the part. It's like balancing that work and that play and that having to be funny while having to deal with serious stuff, and the fear of like, oh my God, I'm putting my life in this thing, and yet I still have to kind of be like, devil may care. It's an interesting balance in how people take that, and how people, how could you be serious about something you're supposed to be funny about? And it was nice. It was nice to have that conversation with people and see. None of the people that I was with got picked either, so that was a little bit sad for all of us. But again, I really do feel like we had a great time. We learned a lot. I learned a lot. And we'll get them next year. We'll get them next year. But more to come as far as this. I will have another new 5-minute routine up soon as the traffic is getting heavy outside. I also hope to have the little show I've been working on up pretty soon as well. And so keep an eye out for that. And as always, thank you so much for joining me. We are going to call it a little short today, just so that I can maybe rest a bit from my very, very long day that began early in the 4 a.m. region of the morning. So yeah, we're going to get some rest. We're going to recoup, re-up, and move on to the next one. So thank you for joining me here at the ReUp. Once again, my name is Jason Delgado, and we will see you on the next one. Stay strong. Don't feel rejection. You're great. Remember that. Flex positive.